Before we dive in, your support means everything. With nearly 90% of viewers still not subscribed, your one click helps us continue creating stories that truly connect. So please hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and let us know where you're watching from. Drop your city in the comments below. The golden sun dipped low over the quiet streets of Willow Creek, bathing the neighborhood in a soft amber glow. Rows of tidy homes with trimmed hedges and blooming gardens lined the road like something from a postcard. But inside one of those charming houses, Emma Carter felt a silence that beauty couldn't cure. In her early 30s, Emma had the kind of smile that could brighten a stranger's day, but lately it had become more of a mask than a reflection of joy. Her husband, Daniel, once the center of her world, had become a ghost in their marriage. 7 years in, and the spark they once shared had been replaced by long nights alone and dinners eaten in silence. Daniel's job demanded everything: late meetings, endless emails, and Emma was left to navigate life in their spacious, empty home. One lazy afternoon, she sat on her porch, iced tea in hand, watching neighborhood kids laugh and chase each other down the street. The sound triggered something deep within her, a memory of what it felt like to be carefree, alive and seen. Her days had become a loop of cooking, cleaning, and waiting for something, anything to change. That change arrived in the form of Liam, the boy next door, all grown up. Home from college for the summer, Liam was now in his early 20s, with messy dark hair and electric blue eyes that hinted at trouble. He'd always been kind, the kind of kid who helped with groceries and waved from his bike. But now, he carried himself with a quiet confidence that made people take notice, including Emma. One evening, as she pulled weeds from her flower bed, Liam strolled over with that easy grin. "Need a hand, Emma?" he asked, crouching beside her. Her heart gave a traitorous flutter. She smiled and nodded, surprised by how natural it felt to laugh with him. They exchanged stories, jokes, thoughts about life. Nothing serious, yet everything she hadn't had in years. His energy was contagious, and Emma found herself anticipating his visits, the highlight of her otherwise dull routine. As the weeks passed, Liam became a regular presence. He helped with odd jobs around the house, joined her for lunch, and listened, really listened, as she talked about her dreams, like traveling the world or diving back into photography, passions she'd shelved when she became a wife. Her heart stirred again, not just from his compliments or flirtatious glances, but from feeling seen. One warm evening they watched a movie together. The room dimmed, the only light coming from the screen. As the film unfolded, so did a tension between them. Liam's arm brushed hers, and she felt sparks she hadn't felt in years. "Emma," he whispered, turning to her with intensity, "I don't know what this is, but I feel it." Before she could respond, he leaned in and kissed her. Time slowed. The kiss wasn't just impulsive, it was full of longing, of things unsaid, of years of emotional emptiness. When they pulled apart, Emma was breathless, shaken, and overwhelmed by guilt. I'm married," she murmured, eyes wide, voice trembling. "I know," Liam said softly, standing up, frustration flickering across his face. "But I care about you more than I should." After he left, Emma sat alone in the quiet, the kiss replaying in her mind on a constant loop. The guilt was undeniable, but so was the longing. The ache in her heart had returned, stronger than ever. Days passed, and the line between right and wrong blurred. Emma found excuses to see Liam, borrowing sugar, asking for help in the garden. Every meeting was charged with tension, their conversations laced with the unspoken. Then came the moment everything changed. Daniel was away on business, and Emma invited Liam over under the pretense of testing out her new camera. She wanted to practice portraits, to reconnect with her creative side. Liam arrived, his charm lighting up the room. They laughed, posed, joked. As the sun sank into the horizon, Emma suggested they head to the backyard to catch the golden hour glow. Liam posed again, joking, "Make me look good, okay?" She tried to focus on the lens, but all she could see was him. Then he stepped close. "Let's try something candid," he whispered, making her laugh. The sound felt so free, so real. She lowered the camera. In the hush of twilight, they stood inches apart. Liam, this isn't right, she began. But he kissed her again, and this time it was urgent. Messy. Passionate. A firestorm of desire and confusion. When they finally broke apart, breathless, Emma was trembling. We can't keep doing this, she whispered, torn between guilt and longing. But deep inside she knew. Something had awakened that couldn't be undone. And the storm was only just beginning. She whispered, her voice barely audible, trembling under the weight of her conscience. What about Daniel? Liam's expression softened, a flicker of pain crossing his face. I know it's complicated, he said quietly. But I can't help how I feel about you, Emma. The air between them thickened. The choices before Emma loomed large, yet despite the guilt clawing at her, she felt more alive than she had in years. The secrecy, the thrill, the passion, it offered her a taste of something she had long been starved of. Over the next few weeks, their connection spiraled into something more than stolen glances. They became entangled in a whirlwind of secret meetups, quiet cafes, hidden corners of the local park, even the empty house next door that belonged to Liam's parents. Each rendezvous carried a volatile mix of excitement and dread. With every stolen moment, Emma slipped deeper into a double life. Liam was everything Daniel wasn't: spontaneous, emotionally available, and deeply attentive. He championed her dreams, especially her long-abandoned love for photography. In his eyes, Emma saw the version of herself she had almost forgotten: bold, curious, vibrant. But beneath the euphoria lay a thick layer of guilt. Daniel was a good man. He worked hard, built a life for them, and had never once stopped showing her love in his own quiet way. And though their marriage had grown stale, the thought of hurting him tormented her. Still, she couldn't stay away from Liam. As the affair continued, Emma became skilled at keeping up appearances, well-crafted excuses, polished smiles, and half-truths that danced around the reality of her actions. But Daniel wasn't blind. He noticed the changes, the way her eyes lit up when she talked about her photography again, and how distracted she seemed during dinner conversations. You've been different lately, Daniel said one evening, sitting across from her at the dining table, the remnants of their meal between them. Is everything okay? Emma forced a smile, swallowing the lump in her throat. Just busy, she replied. Trying to get back into some creative projects. Daniel reached for her hand, his grip warm and reassuring. You know you can talk to me about anything, right? His sincerity pierced her like a blade. Emma nodded, but inside, guilt swelled like a storm tide, threatening to break through. As summer gave way to autumn, the intensity of her relationship with Liam deepened. Their encounters weren't just physical. They were filled with laughter, honesty, and moments of raw vulnerability. Yet, every kiss was accompanied by a growing sense of moral unease. At night, Emma would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, torn between the comfort of familiarity and the allure of a future she couldn't yet define. She was living two lives, and both were unraveling. Then came the turning point. One rainy afternoon, Emma received a message from Liam. Meet me. We need to talk. Her pulse quickened. When she arrived at their usual spot, she found him standing beneath a storefront awning, soaked in thought as much as in rain. I can't keep doing this if you don't know what you want, he said, his voice low and steady. Emma felt her chest tighten. She had dreaded this moment, but she knew it had to come. I don't want to lose you, she said, barely above a whisper. But I don't want to hurt Daniel either. Liam stepped closer, eyes searching hers. Then we need to figure it out. I can't be your secret anymore. The weight of his words settled over her like the gray clouds above. As she walked home through the drizzle, her mind swirled with uncertainty. The life she had known was slipping through her fingers, and the one she might choose had no guarantees. That evening, Daniel returned from a work trip. His presence, once unnoticed, now felt like an anchor and a burden. He greeted her with a kiss and stories from his conference, his voice full of warmth. Emma listened, smiled where appropriate, but inside she was coming undone. After dinner they settled onto the couch. Daniel wrapped his arms around her and whispered, "I missed you. I love you, Emma. I just hope you know how much." Tears pricked at the corners of her eyes. She turned to him, heart pounding. "Daniel, there's something I need to tell you." Her voice cracked under the weight of what was coming. But just as she opened her mouth to confess, the doorbell rang. Daniel frowned and stood. "I'll get it." Emma sat frozen, a wave of dread crashing over her. She already knew who it was. Daniel opened the door, revealing Liam, drenched from the rain. His face a mix of nerves and resolve. "Liam," Daniel said, clearly confused. "What are you doing here?" Emma's heart thudded violently as she rose to her feet. The tension in the room tightened like a noose. "I need to talk to you, Daniel," Liam said, voice firm. He looked past him. "And I need to talk to Emma." The truth had arrived, and there was no going back. Daniel exchanged a glance with Emma, a flicker of unease darkening his eyes. "What's going on?" he asked, his voice steady but edged with concern. "Please," Liam said, stepping cautiously inside. "Just hear me out. This is about Emma." Emma felt her breath catch in her throat. This was it, the moment she had dreaded for weeks, the moment that would shift the foundation of everything she knew. Her heart pounded in her chest as Liam's words echoed through the space. "I care about Emma," Liam continued, his gaze locked onto Daniel's. "And you deserve to know we've been seeing each other." The silence that followed was suffocating. Daniel stared at him, his expression warping from confusion to disbelief. Then came the hurt. "What?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. He turned to Emma, needing confirmation. "Is this true?" Tears welled in Emma's eyes as she nodded, her voice lost beneath the weight of her guilt. "I'm so sorry, Daniel. I never meant for this to happen. I never wanted to hurt you." Daniel's face crumbled under the weight of her confession. "How could you do this to me?" he asked, his voice cracking. "I trusted you." The room bristled with pain, raw and unfiltered. Liam stood quietly, remorse etched into every line of his face. Emma felt like a bystander to the destruction she had caused. "Daniel, please," Liam said, trying to intervene. "This wasn't just on Emma. I'm responsible too. I didn't mean to come between." "You think that makes it better?" Daniel snapped, anger flaring. "You're the reason she betrayed me." Voices rose, emotion boiling to the surface in sharp, stinging bursts. Emma stepped forward, her voice strained and trembling. "Stop," she cried. This isn't helping." Daniel looked at her, eyes glassy with betrayal. "I don't even know who you are anymore," he said. "How could you throw everything away?" "I made a terrible mistake," she said, her voice cracking under the weight of her remorse. "I was lonely. I didn't know how to ask for what I needed. But I never stopped caring about you. I love you, Daniel." He shook his head slowly. "Love isn't supposed to feel like this. You've shattered something I don't know how to fix." For the first time since Liam's arrival, the storm began to settle. In the stillness, clarity washed over Emma. She had allowed herself to be swept away by something that felt like freedom but had only led to chaos. Now she needed to take responsibility. For Daniel's pain, for her own, and for the path forward. "I need to make things right," she said. "Not just for you, for myself too. I need to figure out what I really want. I can't keep pretending." Daniel's expression softened slightly, though the hurt remained. "What does that mean for us?" he asked, voice low. Emma looked at him, heart heavy. "I don't know. But I need time to be honest with myself and with you." Liam stepped back, sensing the gravity of the moment. "I'll give you space," he said quietly. "That's all I ever wanted, for the truth to come out. I never meant to tear your life apart." As the door closed behind him, the silence that followed was heavy with consequence. Emma stood frozen, feeling the ache of both loss and revelation. The life she had lived, one built on secrets, was over. In the days that followed, Emma moved through life like a shadow. Her world had shifted, and everything familiar now felt foreign. She and Daniel lived under the same roof, but the space between them had grown. He buried himself in work, while she wrestled with regret and uncertainty. Yet, amid the grief, Emma turned to the one thing that had always helped her make sense of life: photography. She wandered the city, capturing light and shadow, beauty and decay. Each image became a small act of healing, a way to reconnect with herself. Through the lens, she began to see her own story with new clarity. One evening, while sorting through her photos, she stumbled upon an old image. She and Daniel laughing at a summer fair, sun dipping low behind them. The joy in their faces was real, uncomplicated, full of hope. Took her breath away. She realized then how far they had drifted, and how much she longed to bridge that distance. With trembling hands, Emma reached out to Daniel. She asked him to meet her at the cafe they used to visit every Sunday. He agreed. As they sat across from each other, the atmosphere was thick with unspoken emotion, but also, tentatively, with possibility. "Thank you for meeting me," Emma began, her voice steady. "I've been doing a lot of thinking. I know I hurt you deeply. I don't expect forgiveness, but I want to be honest." Daniel looked at her, guarded, but listening. "I was looking for something I thought I'd lost," she continued. "And I looked for it in the wrong place. What happened wasn't about you not being enough. It was about me not knowing how to speak up, how to ask for what I needed." He paused. "But I still love you, Daniel. I want to work on us, if you're willing." Daniel exhaled slowly, the tension in his shoulders easing just slightly. "I don't know if we can go back," he said. "But maybe we can go forward. If we take it one step at a time." And in that moment, Emma saw the faintest glimmer of hope. In the months that followed, Emma and Daniel took tentative steps toward healing. They began therapy, learned how to communicate honestly, and made space for each other's needs. It wasn't easy. Trust wasn't rebuilt overnight. But slowly, something new began to grow between them, something more honest, more intentional. Emma continued to pursue her photography, not as an escape, but as a form of self-expression. With every shutter click, she captured pieces of herself, pieces she was finally learning to understand and love. And while Liam became a distant memory, the lessons of that time remained. Emma now knew that love wasn't only about passion or desire. It was about showing up, being present, and choosing one another, even when it was hard. The past could not be changed. But the future, imperfect, uncertain, and unfinished, was still hers to shape.